Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this webinar on your role as an advisor for post-COVID business growth. Firstly, I'd just like to make some introductions. So my name is Phil Thornton. I am lead product manager here at Wolters Kluwer, looking after all of our digital solutions.
Hi everybody, my name's Ben Cunliffe. I'm the product manager here for our digital solutions, and I've been working with accountancy software and fintech for just over 6 years now.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Baldwin and I'm part of the digital team, where my role involves working with our customers and supporting them through their adoption of cloud solutions.
Okay, great. So to kick us off today, we're going to discuss how the uncertainty we're experiencing currently can be a catalyst for your practice to diversify your services, get closer to your clients, and deliver a more profitable practice. So the transition from a compliance-led practice to an advisory-led one, it's not a new concept, and technology has always been and continues to be a huge driver for this. And we've gone through many iterations of technologies making processes more efficient for practices, and the move we are now seeing to a digital tax system, for example, is only accelerating that. We're also seeing a new type of client, one that is much more accepting of using technology to support with the running of their business as applications have become much more intuitive. Practices are looking at ways to increase profitability despite these changes, and clients are looking for new ways in which practices can support them in the management of their business. Now, the compliance work is a given, and it's the additional advice which many practices are already providing that clients will place the most value on. And ensuring that your practice has the correct approach and business models to support with this will be key. Clients are expecting more for their fee, so it's going to be vital that practices can ensure any new services are efficient and profitable. And on that note, automating as much of the value add as possible will enable your prices to remain competitive. And part of this transition is about ensuring the desire to change exists within the practice, and plans are put in place with accountable owners within the practice. So, for example, will you look to appoint a lead transformation specialist, for example, who could own the project from end to end? And obviously the last 12 months has accelerated the need for closer collaboration with your clients and the sharing of greater insight. Brexit and COVID have dominated both the political and the economic agenda over the past 12 months, and this uncertainty has led to impact on business decisions regarding investments, exports, employment, and more. And we're already seeing with Brexit, both pre and post agreement, that SMEs are requiring additional support from their advisors to get them through this period of transition. And clearly the impact of COVID meant practices and businesses needed to adapt quickly to these challenges. New ways of working were quickly adopted, and technology again became ever more important, supporting both home working and collaboration with colleagues and clients. So as we start to come out of the pandemic, higher value services will continue to be the growth driver. Now again, this isn't a new concept, but it has been accelerated by the recent uncertainty caused by both Brexit and COVID. So, as an example, if practices are focused on level 1 activities, which is around tax return compliance, payroll and day-to-day accounting, these practices can be expected to grow approximately 0 to 3% annually. But if you compare that to more higher level value add services, such as level 3 activities, these can be things such as benchmarking, regular reporting and dashboarding. They come in at 10 to 20% of growth. Now, a key enabler for delivering these kind of service will be ensuring that the practice is able to access and manage client data consistently, irrespective of the solutions that data is coming from. So what are we hearing that practices will be focusing on as we move forward? Well, we've interviewed over 700 practices across 6 countries to understand how they are currently supporting their clients today and what services they intend to start offering their clients as they move forward. And what this research is telling us is that practices are looking to offer services such as regular reporting, dashboards and snapshots, benchmarking, KPIs and alerts on the bookkeeping data. And all of these services would be classed as a level 3 growth driver. So how are you delivering that advice that your clients are looking for today? So every will be offering some form of advice, even if it's just that one-off conversation as part of the end-of-year compliance routine. But you may not be labeling that advice as high-value advisory services, and you'll also likely be answering many "can I just ask a quick question" calls free of charge. So the key questions to ask as you move forward are, how much advice are you currently offering? Are you talking to the right clients? Are you talking to those clients about the right things? Are you talking to the client at the right time? And what tools are you using to enable those discussions to take place? And this is all about ensuring that your practice is as efficient and profitable as possible, which will help you to differentiate your practice from others. So based on all of these trends, we at Wolters Kluwer have been continuing to innovate and support practices with being able to offer these services to your clients. And with that in mind, we are delighted today to be able to announce the launch of finsit. Finsit is a tool that is for accounting practices who are looking to improve the way in which they deliver reporting to their clients, address the pain points around how a practice provides business advice, and ultimately delivers a solution that provides effortless financial insights. So when we talk about effortless financial insights, what is it that we mean? So we understand that the process practices go through in order to produce reports for clients is not always an efficient one. Multiple solutions can exist within that process, in addition to a number of different data sources. And then there's numerous ways of getting that information to the client. And then even once the practice has provided all of those reports to the clients might not easily understand what those reports actually mean. So this could mean for all that hard work, the output may not be as valued by the client or even used. So therefore, finsit was developed as a platform that not only supports clients in the understanding of the information you provide, but also helps facilitate and enable advisory conversations. So in terms of the pain points that finsit resolves, so for the advisor side, and some of these we've already touched on, clients don't always read or understand the reports that advisors send. COVID has accelerated the need for closer collaboration with clients. Practices require a clear and efficient process for monthly reporting. And the key bit here is irrespective of the bookkeeping solutions used by the client. And advisors can often be switching between different applications during client meetings. And for the client side, they often find it difficult to understand their current financial situation. Again, COVID has accelerated the need for clients to improve their financial situation and increase the need for advice to support with this. And reports that they do receive, such as the P&L and the balance sheet, don't often provide the correct level of detail to support the client with the decision making that they need to make. And finsit is already an established product across Europe, working with practices of all sizes, and some examples of those practices are listed down the right-hand side here. We've also in the UK been working in partnership with many early adopters for a number of months now, and they are really starting to see the value that finsit can deliver for their practice. Ready Siddiqui is one such practice who have already started to see the benefits of using finsit, and they talk here about bringing together great accountancy advice and superior software to enable higher value work. It makes the practice more efficient, more productive, and essentially more valuable to their clients. And you can hear more from Ready Siddiqui and some of our other early adopters in a customer panel with our product director, Gareth Cram, on the 11th of March, which we will share more information on later. I'm now delighted to be able to pass over to the finsit product manager, Ben Cunliffe, who will demonstrate how finsit delivers effortless financial insights. And as Ben takes you through the demonstration, please do ask questions throughout and we can cover them off in the Q&A session at the end of this webinar.
Thank you very much, Phil. Hi, everybody. My name is Ben Cunliffe. As I said earlier, I'm the product manager at Wolters Kluwer for some of our cloud solutions, including our new product, finsit. So I want to take you through the finsit product, and we'll start with the overview. So I'm just loading into the product now. You should be able to see my screen. So what we've done here is we have connected up finsit to my Xero account. So there are lots of different connections that you can bring into finsit. So we have Twinfield, our own bookkeeping product at Wolters Kluwer. We have Xero, QuickBooks Online, Exact, and CCH Accounts Production as well. We're also looking at some Sage Line 50 integration, which is planned in the not too distant future. So you can see that I've brought through in this example my data from Xero. You can see here I have the business dashboard, which is giving me an overview of the month-by-month transactions. So here I'm on February, but what I can do is make this for the whole year, and it'll give us all of our information going through. And we can also highlight for income and year-to-date income as well. So this is just giving us a really good snapshot of the financial position over the year. Now, if we scroll down on the dashboard, we also have our company here as well, which is giving us our current assets, owner's part, and total liabilities. And we can click into the company and get a better overview of what makes up these figures. Again, if I wanted to change the dates on these, we do have the date picker here, which will allow us to do things by years. So we have quarters and halves, we have 2 monthly periods, and we have monthly periods as well. I'm just going to pop back into the overview. And right at the bottom, we also have our KPIs as well. So I'll go into the KPIs in a bit more detail very shortly, but finsit has a huge list of hundreds of different KPIs that can be used in aiding the reporting and seeing different kinds of income, different kinds of costs, and different elements that your clients will need to report on to ensure that the business is healthy. It's a hugely customizable list. Like I said, I'll jump into that later on. Let's just go right back up to our business dashboard here. So we also have the option in here to look into the business activity. So what the business activity is going to do is split out all the activity in a certain period. So at this point, it is my yearly one, and it's just loading all the data through for that year. So we can see literally every single day. Now again, we can unclick some of these if we wanted to. So if we didn't want to see profit, for example, we could take that off. I'm just going to pop that back on. And we can drill down further. So again, if we have this as the year, we've got every single day. If we switch it to a month, it'll split out every day in the month. If we switch it to a quarter, every day in the quarter, and so on. But I want to see what happened on the 9th of January. So if we go on to the 9th of January, we can see that we had big red negative, and we can see what caused that. So we can see that it was costs, as indicated by the red colour. We know that it was for Hoyt Productions as a 20-second still-framed ad shown in 5 city cinemas, 5 times each. And we can even drill down into the transaction. So if I open this transaction in a new tab, it will go and fetch that data from the bookkeeping, and it will give me everything that was on that particular transaction. So you can see I've got different nominals here as well for VAT, accounts payable, and advertising and marketing. And this means that we've got one system where we're getting all this information from. We don't have all these separate systems. We're not jumping into different Excel spreadsheets, bookkeeping, reporting. It's all flowing through into this hub. In a very similar way to how we see that transaction, we can also look at each individual nominal code as well. So if I just flip back to there, you'll see that I click nominal account 400, and that will bring me every single 400 that we've got. Now in this case, that's gone on to advertising and marketing. So that's how we can see that business activity as well. You can also divide these periods into weeks and months as well as days, just so you get an easier overview if you'd like. We also have this ability to look at the different dimensions. Now, we use the term throughout finsit dimensions. You may know these as categories, you may know them as departments, you may know them as cost centers. Like I said, we use dimensions for the terminology. And we can even split this out as well. So we've got region. So as you can tell from my delightful accent, I am North. So let's have a look what we've been doing in the North over the year. And it will exclude everything else that's not been assigned to that particular cost center. Like I said, in this case, we look at them as divisions. So we can see in this example, we've not been spending much in the north, only £104, but we do have a profit of 1,631, and again we have those same options to drill down. I'm going to go back into my overview. So it's all well and good seeing this information that we have here, looking over the year that we've had, or pulling that information in from the bookkeeping, but what if we want to compare it to how we've been doing previously? Of course, this is particularly relevant at the moment with things like, as Phil mentioned, Brexit and COVID. So we can look at the business trends to see how those things may have affected us from year to year. So I can select let's just select my income on here. Again, I've got my year comparison here, and then we're going to compare it to the same period, which is a year, from 2019 to 2020. So this is a year-on-year comparative report. Now we even get some narrative here around the bottom as well, which will basically prompt us to go into the business activity for the particular period. And again, we can drill down and see what's made those changes. Again, a really good snapshot into that comparative reporting. So we also go down here as well. So we'll go back onto the company. I said I showed you this in more detail earlier, but we've also got the balance sheet. So again, we'll open up, as you may well have guessed, our balance sheet report. So of course, as well as having all these fancy graphs and different reporting tools, we do have a section which I'll come on to in a little bit, which is the classic reports. So again, you can see that I've got my balance sheet here. There's different things we can do. So again, we can add filters on here, add dimensions. So my example is north, south, west and east. We can show the nominal accounts as well. And again, we can kind of export and save these just as you'd expect. And right at the bottom of the dashboard, you'll also see that we've got our KPIs loading up. So I'm going to just take a look at some of these KPIs. So it'll give you a definition of what they are. And you'll also get the option to go and view them as well. So I'm going to jump in and view my gross profit KPI. And it gives us this information here. So again, we can split these out. So let's look at a different one. Let's go for 2 periods. And let's have a look at all costs. So just to give you an example, actually, while I go through these are just a few of the KPIs that we've got enabled that will allow more enhanced reporting and give you and your clients a better view of the business and how the business is performing. So I'm going to go and take a look at, what shall we pick? Let's have a look at growth. Let's just have a see in our changing assets, for example. And you can see that we get this report here. So big old change in assets. So we'll be able to go in and have a look and see what's actually made that change. And then this is where we can start advising on our clients. So you can see the closing assets from the period 2020 to 2021 and the closing assets from the previous period as well. So you get your description, so what this KPI actually means, and most importantly, how we've calculated that KPI for you. So again, there's hundreds of them. I'm not going to go through all of them. We're going to be here kind of all day if I do that. So let's take a look at some of the reporting that we can offer as well. So one of the great features of finsit is this ability to do period reports where the product will go and generate this reporting pack for your clients. And you'll also be able to add all kinds of narrative and story around that to really help paint this picture. And what this does is, again, alluding to Phil's point earlier, most people, if you're giving them a P&L or a balance sheet, they don't necessarily know what that means. They might not know what a healthy P&L looks like compared to one that shows some risks or some danger. So what Finsit's done here for me is it's pulling all the information, all the reports together, and it's putting it in one pack for me to edit. So I can pick my period. I'm going to stick where I am. And then I can start adding narrative around this as well. So you can see that I've got all my texts here. Now, a lot of these are pre-written for you. They're in the software already. But we can also go through and actually start to add our own customized ones as well. So if we have particular industries that we work for, in my example here, I've got mechanics. I've got a greeting for them. But again, we can fill out this information and customize it. So actually, when we're generating these reports, we're adding value and we're also saving our precious billable time as well. So I'm just going to put some of the stock ones in here. And obviously, you can see how this would kind of work within your practice and apply to your clients. So we've got my generic introduction. Here we've got the business overviews that we saw before. Again, we can include different elements on this for them if we'd like to include them. So I'm going to put some comments on profit and loss there. I'm going to say here, are we missing some invoices? This is a particular risk for you. For the balance sheet, we've got one on here for comments on the balance sheet. Again, this is where you start adding your value, adding your narrative. It's all well and good actually giving these reports and presentations, but again, when you can really add that value is explaining what they mean. And then we've also got KPIs here. So let's say that, for example, one of our KPIs might be around taxes and fees, so about VAT. So we might want to add a little bit kind of onto here. And then our attachments. So we can put, again, anything on here. So let's say we've attached some financial ratios, or even we can just get rid of that and say, please see attached. So you can add that custom text yourself. So this is automatically saving as we're going. And when we're ready, we can publish that. And that report's going to be published. So that's now live. We can again print this off. We can export it to a PDF. We can also send an email notification to our client as well. Our client will get that notification and they'll be able to see this report as well. So that's our period reporting pack. We also have a variety of different classic reports as well. I'm not going to take you through every single classic report we have. Again, you know, everything you'd expect to be there is there, but one of the really cool features that we do have in finsit is this ability to generate custom reports and have this custom report builder. And again, this just builds on a lot of the functionality that you'd find in kind of classic cloud softwares, especially for bookkeeping, and it adds extra value to those. There's a lot more customizable elements. It does take your natural bookkeeping reporting that step further, so you can add those advisory services. So I have a new report in here, and I am going to do, I think we will do a comparative P&L, which is one that I've been doing previously. So I'm going to add a column, and we will do a couple of periods here. And then we can also add our rows as well. So I'm going to go and add a row for income, which is in our chart of accounts group. And I'm also going to add the row for costs as well. So you'll see here as well that we've got these little eyes with the dashes, these symbols through. Don't worry about those. It simply means that for this particular nominal code, there's no value assigned to it or no transactions assigned to it. And we are also going to add let's have a look, add a column on deviation as well, so that we can start to make this actually the comparative P&L element. So let's go into deviation. Let's say that we don't want the term deviation. Let's give it a custom title. So we will call this actually no, let's call it a variance. This is where my spelling comes into check. Thank God there's a spell checker. And let's go to our periods here. So let's say if that's our previous year, so let's shift the period down by 12 months. So that is 2008 to 2020. And what we can also do here as well is, so let's set our base values. So we'll have our base values at 2008, sorry, and our deviated values at 2020 to 2021. So that's just doing it on a yearly basis. So again, let's say if we slip back to January, we can change that to January 2020 to January 2021. And again, always remember that any of the reports that you're in, if you do see this bar at the top, you can change those reporting periods too. So that's how we just knocked together a really quick comparative P&L. Again, like I said, we could do it on comparative years, we can do it on comparative months, anything that's listed in here. can be listed. So we'll save that template and we will put comparative P&L and we'll save that. So again, hopefully when you've seen some of those reports, you can see how it would fit within your practice, which clients you might think this would be useful for. Again, that comparative reporting to see where we were, where we're going to be, where we are, really important information to offer to your clients. So I think probably one of the very last things I want to show you is just this powerful search ability that we have. So we can search pretty much the entire system that's been brought through. It's not just searching on key terms, but we can also search on key figures as well. So if I search for £25.44, it'll bring through anything that's the associated amounts. And again, as you saw before when we did the business drill down, we can click into the ledger entry and it will bring that through from whichever bookkeeping software that we've connected it to. And if we didn't want to search on numbers, let's say that we wanted to search on key terms, let's find the cinema ad that I put forward before when we had a £5,000 cost. Again, it's found that as well. So there's a really intelligent search on that. You don't have to go burrowing through everything to find that data. Again, you know, we're in one system and everything that you need is in here. Again, it all flows through with the integrations. Okay, well, hopefully you can see how finsit would help you offer advisory services within your practice, and where you can see that this would apply to certain clients and where you can enhance your offering and start to move into those advisory roles. If you've got any questions, please do keep them coming through. I think we're going to hand back over to Charlie now. So Charlie, over to you for next steps.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ben. Thanks, Phil. So before we move on to questions, just to summarise what we've covered during the webinar, we've discussed the importance of offering advisory services to your clients, and we know that Brexit and the pandemic have accelerated this. So this means advisory services will be the growth drivers for practices, boosting profitability. I think the differentiator will be how effectively your practice delivers these services, and this will be key for future growth. Wolters Kluwer's advisory solution, finsit, is the user-friendly platform that streamlines reporting processes, providing meaningful financial insights that support all advisory conversations and improves the value added to those client engagements. So what's next? How do you sign up and how do you start using finsit? You can contact your digital specialist directly. Some of you will already be in contact and know Martin or Hassan and myself. You can email us directly through the UK mailbox, which is on screen now. As a team, we're here to support you through the sign-up process and then through the onboarding process and work with you to ensure adoption and that you fully utilise finsit. We have coming up a panel discussion style webinar on the 11th of March. So this will be led by our commercial director, Gareth Cram, and he'll be joined by some of the early adopters.
Thanks, Charlotte. So just time now for some questions. We've got some questions that have been coming in throughout the webinar. So I'll have a quick look through. The first question we've got is, can finsit be practice branded? Ben, do you want to pick that one up?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can brand finsit up with your practice logo and your practice colours as well. We do have that ability. It's part of our partner program. So we've got a partner program that we've put together to help utilise finsit, help get your clients onto that, and that is a service that we do offer.
Great, thanks, Ben. And we've had a lot of questions around the bookkeeping solutions that finsit integrates with. So we integrate with Xero, Sage Business Cloud Accounting, QuickBooks Online, Twinfield, Exact, CCH Accounts Production, and also Sage 50 Accounts is due very soon also. We've had a question about cost and commercials. Charlotte, are you okay to pick that one up?
Yeah, sure. I think I've had a couple of issues with my audio, so hopefully you can all hear me now. So the cost for the base package. So it's coming out at £20 for the base package, which includes 3 clients. and then you will add on clients at a £10 per month charge after that. But we're running an introductory offer, so it's 50% off until February 2022. Okay.
That's great. Thanks, Charlotte. We had another question here, Ben, around training. Does it require training to get started?
No, not really. It's obviously designed so it's a really simple system to use. So, I mean, once you've got the actual account set up and you've done your import, you should be good to go and you can start reporting straight away. We do have loads of kind of self-help learning videos that we've made as well. So they're available free of charge to anybody who wants to look at those. If you do need help, we also have support as well. So we've got UK support, and the guys can help you if you get stuck. It's not a problem. And then if you really, really want to kind of get into the depths of it and customize it, we do offer some advisory services as well, where we'll actually get in there and help you customize that. But for most people, no, it's really easy to get started on.
Great. Another question about the use of finsit on an iPad. Just to clarify that finsit does absolutely work on iPads for both you and your clients, if that's the tool that you would like to use. Obviously, finsit integrates with CCH One-Click. So we've had a question around how to get onboarded with CCH One-Click, Charlotte.
Yeah, brilliant. So with CCH One-Click, it's quite a straightforward setup. As you'll know by now, the data will actually sit within CCH One-Click's open integration area. So that's where the data comes from. So it's really important that you have a One-Click subscription. You'll get in touch with either myself, Martin, or Hassan directly. Contact your CCH account manager. We will organise and get you a license for CCH One-Click. And then from that point, we'll work with you, guide you through, and support you through getting that set up. But as I've said, it's quite a straightforward setup and an easy, simple connection to finsit.
We've actually just had a follow-up question on that, Charlotte. Maybe Ben, I don't know whether you want to pick this one up. So it's, can I have finsit without having CCH One-Click?
So at the moment, the way that we've designed it is that there's no way to have finsit outside of CCH One-Click because we're getting all that data within one application. Obviously, the whole point is that we're not switching and swapping. We are looking at developing it independent of One-Click as well. So hopefully in the not too distant future, you will be able to use it independent of One-Click. Obviously, you won't get all the same benefits of it being right there in the one app through the open integration.
And another question here, Ben, about client access to finsit. So do clients get access to finsit, and in addition to just the receiving of the reports? And if so, how do they get that?
Yeah, so clients also get access to finsit. So as you mentioned, they get the reports directly from the accountant or the bookkeeper, but they can also access the dashboards and the historical reports that are in the client workspace as well. Yes, that's no problem.
Okay, I think we've only got one more question, and this is around forecasts. Can we do forecasts in finsit, Ben?
So at the moment, there is no forecasting capability within finsit, but that's due to change. So we do have a forecasting roadmap. So kind of the next big thing for finsit is going to be able to include things like three-way forecasts and hypotheticals, what-if scenarios, things like that. So that's currently being looked at the moment, and dev's starting. So it shouldn't be in the non-too-distant future. You'll also get your reporting and your forecasting in one product.
Okay, I think that's all of the questions answered. If there is any more, please do send them through on here. We can pick that up post the webinar. We will send out this webinar, the recording of the webinar after today. And if there is any questions that we have missed, we will also answer them and send them out as part of that pack. Please do stay connected with us. The details are all available on the screen now. And as Charlotte mentioned earlier, we do have another webinar, which is a customer panel hosted by our product director, Gareth Cram, on the 11th of March. So if you are wanting to hear more from us and from finsit, please do sign up for that. Thank you very much for your time this morning.